Welcome to Wine Road, the wine, when, and where of Northern Sonoma County. I'm your host, Marcy Gordon, with Beth Costa, Executive Director of the Wine Road.
Thanks to Ron Rubin, we're able to keep our podcast rolling along. The financial support of River Road Family Vineyards and Winery allows us to keep recording, keep sipping wine, and keep sharing stories with our listeners. Check out their website at riverroadvineyards.com and explore their Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Old Vine Zinfandel from the Russian River Valley, as well as a finely crafted Cabernet Sauvignon from the Alexander Valley. That's riverroadvineyards.com. And hey, thanks, Ron, for allowing us to make this show happen.
Welcome to episode 198. Today, our guest is Shane Tracy, and he is the tasting room manager at Wilson Winery. Hello and welcome, Shane.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Glad you're here.
So you're a tasting room manager at Wilson, and do you work primarily at the Wilson Winery property or some of the other wineries? Or
Just at Wilson, the flagship winery on Dry Creek Road.
So tell us about that. Tell us about, I think you're probably free to talk about all of the artisan wineries that are a part of that family.
Yeah.
So let's hear about that.
So I've been at Wilson since summer 2019. It's been a fun journey to kind of go through fires and
So that's quite a while at this point.
and COVID.
Yeah, you've been through a lot
You've
at
been
this
through
point.
it all.
just a few years. Honestly, it's amazing to work in a size of company like Wilson Artisan, but also have the support of it being family owned and family ran. I see Diane on the regular and Ken Wilson also very regularly, and
yeah, they're very hands-on, which is super cool.
Yeah, they're also such engaging personalities. Yeah.
oh, they're a blast.
Yeah.
And Diane makes some incredible wine. Not just at Wilson, she makes wine at a few of our other properties, Matrix.
So we're having one of her incredible wines right now. You want to tell us about this?
Yes, let's talk about this.
Because we were just sitting here before we kind of started recording, and I had a glass of wine in front of me, so I picked it up, not really paying attention. Took a sip. I'm like, oh my God, that was amazing.
So this is our 2021 Dry Creek Valley Reserve. Retails for $38 a bottle. This is actually the wine that won Sonoma County Harvest Fair Red Wine Sweepstakes back in the fall.
This really is delicious. I'm going to take that extra bottle home tonight.
Please.
I'm saying right now. Did you hear that, Marcy?
Yes, I heard you.
I have company coming for dinner
Rochambeau.
tonight.
I know.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just leave that for you. I'm like, no, I have company coming tonight.
I saw your eyes light up.
This is amazingly
So
good.
it is the 2021 Zinfandel, and it has, that's our flagship grape in Dry Creek Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really lovely. It has all the earmarks of a great Zinfandel, but we were talking before, has a little bit of Petite Syrah. I don't know if anyone could tell that, but I think that gives it like a real, steadiness.
Yeah, it adds a little structure to the back end. I mean, Diane makes such a vast style of different Zins, and this one kind of showcases Dry Creek Valley, standard of fruit up front.
Right.
A lot of that blackberry.
It just got that little drive. I think. I don't know. I'm not a winemaker, but I do drink wine. I play one on TV.
I think you pretty well. Yeah. What brought you into the wine business to begin with?
So I actually studied wine at Sonoma State.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually a Rohnert Park native. I did elementary through college, all in town.
Wow, that's a rarity.
Yeah, there's a handful of us.
Do you get a little badge for that? Or?
Key to the town, actually.
Key to the town.
I'll have to talk to some people about that.
I'll have to make that.
Yeah, where is
See if
that?
we can do that.
So I did the wine program and marketing, and was fortunate enough to do my internship.
So that's a great program. I mean, what a wonderful resource here in this region.
And I was always interested in it too. Like growing up in the county, like my parents were wine club members at a couple wineries. My mom loves Pinot, so like they would always have one like Pinot winery and then like one either Zin or Cab winery that they're wine club members
So
at.
your mom's like, who needs a doctor in the family? We got a person in wine.
Yeah, well, my sister is a nurse, so
there you go.
they checked that box
You got
already.
everything. Your parents must be so happy.
Yeah, and they still live in town, and I still live in town, so I drop off wine to them.
Oh, that's great.
Fairly regularly.
Well, I think
True
it's
native.
interesting because I got started in the wine business similar because I moved here, and like this is the wine industry is here, so I thought I know nothing about wine when I started, and I really didn't have any big interest in wine. I wasn't a big wine drinker, but I thought, well, if this is where I live, this is where I'm going to be able to find a job. And obviously, one thing led to another,
Right.
to another. But it really was just because, well, there's so many wineries there, there's going to be something where I'm a good fit.
Right. And I was lucky enough when I was with the wine program at Sonoma State, you have to have an internship at a winery. And it's, of course, in the business program, they're always preaching, like, it's networking, who you know.
Right. Yeah.
And had a family friend that was the sales manager at a place called B.R. Cohn Winery in Sonoma Valley.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was an intern there for one of my last years in college.
Wow. They have all the concerts there. They make amazing olive oil there. And
it was such a great experience. And I was only the intern for like the first 2 months. And then I'm literally thrown into, all right, here's a big music festival.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Make it happen.
Yeah. And my boss came by and was like, all right, take the iPad, go take some photos. Like, you're the marketing intern. So I snuck my way on stage when Huey Lewis was playing.
Oh boy, what fun.
And it was an incredible experience. I got a chance to learn from so many people at that winery. And when I finished school, I stayed around. They offered me a full-time position. About 2 months after that, they were acquired by Vintage Wine Estates. Yeah. And stayed working with them for another 4.5, 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
Managed wine clubs for them through Vianza Sonoma, and then moved over and managed two kind of like luxury brands in Napa, Swanson Vineyards and Delectus Winery. It was an incredible experience.
So you've had the full panoply of all the experiences.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I've got a chance now to kind of be in the middle. I've gotten to work at a small family-owned, also major corporate.
Right.
And kind of in the middle with Wilson Artisan it's incredible because you have the support of so many different people that work on staff, not just at my winery, but through all of the wineries. And there's so much great feedback and
that's the thing.
opportunity.
It's great collaboration. Someone has the answer.
Or has done an event before.
Yeah, right.
I think that might be unique to the wine industry. When you're an intern, you really are immersed in a company. Unlike, if you're like an intern at a big, advertising agency or something, you're not really getting to be in the nitty-gritty like you are in wine. It's because it's kind of a flat structure, right? Everyone does everything and you really get exposed. It's, that kind of internship is so valuable.
Yeah, it was definitely trial by fire.
Yeah, but
I wasn't getting
great.
a lot of coffee for people. But no, it was great. I got to do, the marketing side, social media, got to help with plan and run events, day-to-day tasting room stuff.
Real world.
Yeah,
exactly.
Got the full hands-on experience.
That's great.
That's what was so great about the wine program at Sonoma State is that's part of the program is going out, finding your own internship. It's setting you up for success in your professional career.
Right.
And it was, I was just fortunate to kind of get my foot in the door and go from there.
They have that is an amazing program. So through the Wine Road, I'll get the email for the next series of classes that are being offered. And I make sure I immediately share that with all of our members and tell them, make sure everyone on your staff is seeing this because people can take individual classes also. And a lot of them are just maybe 2 8 hours on Saturday, 2 weeks in a row or something. So for someone who's already in the business, and they just have an amazing amount of really incredible instructors that help with that. A lot of people that are the CEO of different wineries here that, teach. And yeah, it's a great program. So what is your highlight? What's the highlight of your job, that you, as the taster manager at Wilson, what do you love the most?
So, no, I love that question because I think my favorite part of the job is, of course you have ongoing projects that you're always working on, but I tell people every day when I show up to work, I almost have no idea what's going to happen. You never know.
Right.
Of course you have your reservations,
right.
And we're walk-in friendly. So,
right.
We could get 2 guests, we could get 30.
Right.
This last weekend, even though it was, pretty heavy rain,
a lot of rain,
we saw close to 40 groups.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's because nobody had power and they all had to leave the house.
Yeah.
Let's go drink wine somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, come to the winery. We have
Yeah.
a nice warm tasting room.
Yeah.
But honestly, the greatest thing about my job is, interacting with customers on a daily basis, getting to continuously provide feedback and coaching to tasting room staff. And honestly, there's so much great wine in our company. There's just so much to learn. There's, our cellar master Juan and Diane. They've been working together for like 14 years.
Yeah.
So there's so much knowledge between the two of them that they're always providing to us.
So you're happy to show up to work every day because it's always going to be something learning and experience and unexpected. That's a great way to go to work, I think.
Yeah, and I kind of dubbed myself the wearer of all hats.
It is fun working in the taste room. I mean, that's how I started. And I would always crack up because every customer that come in would say, "You have the best job ever. I would love to do this." It has its moments, but it is fun. I mean, because people are there from all over the country. Prior to that, I'd worked in retail. And retail in a department store, that's a whole different thing. Because if you're looking for a white blouse, you're going to go to that one store and you're going to buy that one white blouse and that's that. But if you're coming wine tasting, you're going to go to a lot of wineries. And so it was so fun to help customers. They liked my wine, but then I could refer them to other places. Like, you loved this Zin. You should also go here and you should also go there. It's just a whole different collaborative situation. I did love it. I had so much fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Can't beat it.
I just love the attitude. You never know what's going to happen every day.
Well, that's what keeps it fresh and fun. I mean, I think if you go to a job every day and you're just going to, run the spreadsheet of the numbers of the sales in the region, that's not as exciting as, meeting new people and, dealing with maybe little problems that pop up, just managing the whole thing and making it all a wonderful experience for that customer. I mean, it's like a magical job in a way.
Right. And crazy enough, the beauty of being at Wilson is not that we only have local members, but we have a great base of of Sonoma County, North Bay members. Right. And I'm from a lot of them, I'm like 1 degree of separation from knowing someone that they know.
Yeah. Right.
And of course that's the industry in general out here. But it's you get to know your customers, you get to know your club members, and I think they really appreciate that extra step of this person's getting to know me.
Yes.
And honestly, you build that connection with someone, and you talk more. Tastings turn into we're talking about family,
right? You get to learn about their kids, and whatever.
Exactly.
Well, even working in the office at the Wine Road, where I'm just pretty much locked in the office. I've had so many repeat customers that come to our events year after year after year. At this point, I meet customers when they come to town because I've talked to them on the phone for 20 years, and suggested different wineries they go to. So yeah, it's fun. I like that. And actually from the podcast, it blows my mind when we do Wine Road events, if I have to be someplace and host a seminar or whatever, how many podcast listeners show up at every event we do. There's at least 1 or 2 couples that are podcast listeners from across the country.
Oh, great!
Come. So yeah, that's always super fun. I love that. We do have listeners.
So you're a true native, and Beth loves to ask this question. What do you love to do on your free time, and what's the kind of experiences or things you suggest people do, the quintessential Sonoma County experience?
Oh, wow. So
I'm just going to keep drinking Zin.
Yes,
no, please.
You go.
Of course, wine tasting is always high up there on the list.
Yeah.
But there's so many great restaurants. There's great breweries in the area. There's some amazing hikes around the area. That's the beauty of Sonoma County is, if you want to go to San Francisco, you're an hour from the city. You're 45 minutes from the coast. You're 15, 20 minutes from amazing forests and mountains and hikes.
There's so much.
Right.
And they keep opening more open space. I've just noticed there's some new... I meant to write it down because I wanted to talk about it, but there's some new area that has been kind of closed off, but it's been open to the public for hiking. So
over on the coast, the
Is
It was
on
the
oh, yes,
horseback
it
riding.
was Chancellor
Yeah,
Ranch.
Chancellor Ranch,
Yes,
yeah.
you jogged my memory. So this was a horse ranch for many, many
jogged it.
years. You jogged my memory. Chancellor Ranch is now open to the public, and it's like a huge property. And that's when you used to see horses on the beach. It was these people bringing groups there. And I guess, luckily, it was bought by the Sonoma, conservatory, whatever they do,
Oh,
the
land
land bank
trust,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so I thought, wow, that's cool because you get the high views, the mountains, and then it's right on the coast there.
I think I listened to, I forget his name. He works at Emeritus, one of the last
Glenn.
episodes.
Glenn.
Glenn. He mentioned playing disc golf, which I also play.
Ah.
So it's a very big thing in
Get a
Sonoma
winery
County.
intramural disc golf
Oh man,
thing going.
sign me up for it.
Where do you play?
Taylor Mountain,
Taylor
right?
Mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But Crane Creek Regional Park over kind of right behind Sonoma State.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They
right.
actually there's also it's over by Pioneer High School. Blanking on the name, Rosa Park, and it's a little bit of a hike, but over to Lake Stafford in Novato, and then you got Lake Sonoma up in Healdsburg,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
right
I
next
only
door to
knew
work for me.
because I used to hike a lot around Taylor Mountain, and you'd find the discs on the trail because it's so close. And when Glenn was here, he said, "I find them all the time. I just throw them back." He goes, "Oh, bless you," because you just throw them back over the fence.
Right, and I know there's like bocce leagues and stuff, and there's so much to do, especially when the weather clears up.
The thing is, the weather's nice 9 months out of the year. It can go a long time.
It's time for our Fast Five. Who do we have on the line now?
Hi, this is Tim Bodell from Francis Coppola Winery.
Ooh, yay.
Yay! Hey, Tim. What's your Fast Five recipe?
Well, I have a dish I like to call crab toast.
Ooh, okay,
Nice.
I'm already in love. I love crab. So what's in that?
Well, of course, crab, Dungeness crab. We have one of my absolute favorite ingredients in the county, Dungeness crab. We're right in the heart of the season now. Crusty sourdough bread, some preserved Meyer lemon, green garlic, and either aioli, butter, or extra virgin olive oil, whatever you're feeling.
Okay. And what do we do with those things?
So keep it simple. Keep it simple. Either buy the sourdough bread or make it yourself. Pick some crab meat. Mix that crab meat with some of the preserved Meyer lemon, some fresh chopped green garlic, and sort of blend it all together with some aioli if you'd like to enjoy it cold, or drizzle some butter if you want a hot dish. And eat it just like that, real simple.
That sounds
You
delicious.
just spread it on the bread.
Pile it high.
Nice.
Okay, so I
That
don't want to
sounds
be, I'm the
perfect.
non-cook here. So green garlic, what is green garlic?
Green garlic is just the immature stage
Okay.
of regular garlic.
Okay.
And it has delicious garlic flavor. I like to not cook it very long to sort of preserve that garlic flavor.
Okay.
So in an application like this, you can use it like a chive or a green onion. You don't need to cook it. You just
Okay.
chop it or slice it and fold it in. And it's just a very mild, delicious garlic flavor. I love it with crab.
Oh, sounds delicious. Okay, awesome. Thanks
All
for
right.
calling in.
Thanks
Of
so
course.
much.
So I also heard, sort of in a nutshell, tell us the word on the street is you, in your younger days, started a podcast yourself.
I did film 2 episodes of a sports podcast with one of my best friends from college. The first 2 episodes were relatively back to back. Was with like March Madness coverage for college basketball, as well as college football. It was like 8 months later, around like the holiday season. My friend did move to Sacramento, so it makes
Bummer.
the getting together and filming a little tougher.
Yeah.
But we've also kind of like revamped like what our idea is. So we've kind of flirted with the idea of restarting it with a little more focus
Yeah.
of what we'd be talking about, less current event.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people doing current event,
Right.
sports radio and sports
Oh, yeah.
podcasts. So just
So
finding,
many
like, our-
podcasts. You really have to have an angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I won't give that up over there, so no one can steal my idea.
Yeah,
exactly.
Could be winery-based sporting events.
Right. So
Well, that's pretty limited.
I'll tell
very
you guys
niche.
off air.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's great. Well, as you well know, starting a podcast is no trivial thing. It's a lot of work, and my hat's off to anyone who even attempts it. But it's so hard to maintain that momentum. So once you have a good idea, it's really good to get a few under your belt,
Yeah.
and then keep going. I mean, sometimes I wonder, how did we get to do this for so long? It's a lot of moving parts.
Right. Yeah, you guys are closing on 200 episodes
yeah,
pretty
Coming
soon.
up.
Wow.
Yeah.
198.
Congrats, you guys.
8
That's amazing.
years.
I know. It's a long time.
Dylan say that with joy. She's like worn down.
I just
by
can't believe it. Actually, it just doesn't seem possible.
And award winning.
yeah.
We've won several taste awards for this
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
and we're nominated probably after this show. Well, no,
Yeah.
by the time this show airs, if we're a 4-time winner, a 4-peat.
And 4-peat, exactly. So today, well, first of all, we didn't really talk about going to taste wine at Wilson. So you did say you take walk-ins. And then what else? What are the other options? If I were to call ahead, do you have different levels of experiences that people can have? And if I just walk in, what's going to happen for me then? What am I
Right.
going to taste?
So currently we just have our one signature tasting. It's when weather permitting on our patio.
Oh, yeah.
But we have plenty of space inside our tasting room. Even since we've been seeing the volume of people, we've actually been hosting some like extra tables in our barrel room.
I just have to put them in the cellar or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So just the one tasting, but I've been working with my boss and our lead with creating a new experience. Eventually, it'll be a cellar tour and tasting. So the signature tasting is a 4-wine flight. Usually that includes an extra pour or two on top of that.
So it's 4
wines.
Okay.
It's usually like a white wine or rosé, and then 2 Zinfandels and an other red. That could be like a Petit Syrah or a Cab or a blend.
And how much is that?
And that's $25 a
Okay.
tasting, and we waive with a 1-bottle purchase.
Oh, my Lord.
That's very reasonable.
No, I mean like the thought process is like we want people, like you can't take a tasting fee home.
Right.
Like we want people to enjoy the experience
Yeah.
and then take a bottle home and relive that
Exactly.
experience when they open the bottle.
Exactly. So that is called the signature tasting.
Signature tasting.
And then if I show up unannounced, what do I get then?
we'll just do the signature
Oh, you
tasting.
still do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we still offer that, especially when we move into the peak season. We recommend doing reservations,
Right.
especially on a Saturday or Sunday when we see quite a bit of people.
That's, at this point, we have 130 something winery members, and I would say 70 of them at this point take walk-ins. But I do tell customers, if there's that one winery that you absolutely, you're planning your trip around seeing this winery, make sure you do get a reservation, even if it's on a Tuesday. I mean, if this is going to make or break your vacation, make sure you have a reservation for them, and then, play around with walk-ins at other places.
Right. We typically see on like a weekday, like especially in peak season, we're talking April to
September.
late fall, November
October,
even. We'll probably see on a weekday probably like 15 groups,
Yeah.
and then on the weekend close to 50.
It's got to, say must
Boy.
double or triple that.
Yeah, I mean we have quite a big patio, so we can host a lot of groups. And like I said, we'll take walk-ins until there are almost no tables left. We want to provide an awesome experience for people that
Right.
are
Yeah.
mostly going out of their way. I mean, you can stumble on us. You can drive down Dry
Well,
Creek
yeah.
and be going to somewhere else and see the coyote
You
on the
you
lawn.
see the coyote and you think, oh, I need to swerve into that quickly.
Right. So we do get a decent amount of walk-in traffic.
Well, and that's also, because it's so often a winery down the road that said, oh, when you're heading back into town, make sure you stop at Wilson.
Right. And there's a lot of the great part of Wilson Artisan Wines is there's a lot of like self-driven traffic. Since you have a wine club member that may be picking up their wine club shipment at Mazzacco. And they're like, you know what? Like we have a dinner reservation at 5:30. Let's go to Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
You're
love
close
to have them.
town, so
Exactly.
So we should mention the wineries that are in the Wilson portfolio because everyone is not familiar with that. And kind of hit on what that winery is known for.
Perfect. Well, let's count them out because
there's a lot. I
we'll
know.
start with Wilson, where I work.
One.
We're known for, of course, Zinfandel,
Zinfandel,
and some amazing Petit Syrah and other reds. The next closest to us is Mazzacco. They're over off of Lytton Springs, also known for Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, Cab. Amazing winemaker Antoine Favreau.
And he's a cutie. He's so personable. I love him.
He's one of the most like friendliest
Yes.
winemakers that I've ever
Yes,
met.
Absolutely.
So that's Mazzacco. If you go kind of back down West Side Road, you got Matrix Winery. They're known for their Pinots, but they make amazing Zins and Petit Syrah as well.
Yeah, I really think
And
of them as a
Chardonnay.
Pinot place. That's where I would go for Pinot, for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's Diane Wilson makes the wine there with her daughter Victoria. And then you've got a handful that are all in downtown Healdsburg area, which is Pezzy King. Some amazing wines over at Pezzy King. Chris Barrett is a winemaker over there.
And that's a cool spot. It's right off by Memorial Beach on the bridge, coming in the back end of town. It's a cute little spot over there.
Right.
And there's several other wineries in that little complex.
Yeah. And Chris makes some amazing Zinfandel. Of course, Petit Syrah Cab, and actually an amazing late harvest.
Oh, yeah, that's
as
hard
well.
to find.
Yeah. I mean, he won sweepstakes with that years
Yeah,
back.
I remember that
Yeah.
because we're like, wow, really late harvest? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And then there's a couple others in downtown. You've got Rockpile Vineyards, which is one of our newer portfolio. They're right there on the roundabout.
Yeah, you can't miss them. Plus, in the summer, they have all those cool metal chairs and a rainbow color outside.
Yeah.
It's so eye-catching.
Yeah, and you have like kind of operates as a little bar right
Yeah,
there.
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's very Instagrammable.
and they we're talking all wines from Rockpile. So you got handful of Zins. I want to say like 5 or 6 Zinfandels, a few different cabs, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot. Yeah, and that's all from the Rockpile AVA.
Yeah, super hot and dry.
High elevation.
Past Lake Sonoma.
So there's Rockpile, and then I think the only other downtown tasting room. Actually, sorry, there's 2. The newest one is Coyote Sonoma, and that's a tap room, tasting room, and
It's like the other side
live
of the
event.
roundabout.
It's
Yeah,
in
exactly.
a little event venue.
Yeah, some great concerts.
Great
There's,
music, yeah.
Wonder Bread 5 plays there fairly often. They've had a lot of tribute bands. Petty Theft has been there.
And they usually post their music schedule way in advance, so you can kind of see, who's coming up, plan your trip.
Right. And then there's actually 2 locations for this, but you have Soda Rock. They have a tasting room in downtown Healdsburg currently. It's right next to Willie's, which is one of my favorite restaurants. And then you've got their actual location out off of 128.
The barn, yeah.
Yep, the barn.
Soda Rock at the barn.
and Alexander Valley. The other Alexander Valley winery is Delormier. Wines made by Diane and Antoine. I think they both, kind of make their own set of wines for them. And then you have, I'm only missing the last 2, which are up in Mendocino County, and that's going to be Jackson Keys, mostly known for their Rhones, Chardonnay. And then you make a couple other reds.
And don't they do a port or
Brandy.
they do brandy? That's right. Debbie, our amazing Wine Road event manager, worked there for a short time.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, she worked there for maybe, I don't know, a year or 2.
Oh, that's awesome.
A long time ago.
And then you have a little further into Mendocino, you have Greenwood Ridge, which is on, I guess that's also 128,
yeah.
but heading west.
Anderson Valley.
Anderson Valley. And they're known for their Pinot and Chardonnay. Cool, because you have the Matrix wines that are mostly from Sonoma County.
Yeah, Russian River.
And then you have the Anderson Valley property. So you have two completely different styles.
Different
So you can have the
Pinots, yeah.
complete experience
Yes.
in the family
Well,
of
that's the
wineries.
thing is,
It's
like,
amazing.
We offer lodging packages in our portfolio. We have, I want to say, 5 bed and breakfasts. There's also vineyard homes that are available for lodging, and included in your stay are complimentary tastings at our tasting rooms.
So actually, I think I just got an email from that, and I just finally connected the dots and thought, oh yeah, those are the Wilson lodgings, and it's called Artisan Lodging or something.
Artisan lodges.
Yeah, and man, there are some really beautiful properties. The bed and breakfasts in town in Healdsburg are really beautiful, but there's so many homes that are, you came with a group, 2 couples, 3 couples, whatever. I mean, really some beautiful properties. That's definitely a website worth checking out.
Yeah, artisanlodges.com. There's a property that is kind of newer to the portfolio. I actually created part of the program, which is included in your stay. You have a server or like a wine host guide you through a vineyard tour, and then we host a tasting right there where you're staying on one of the patios.
Oh, what fun.
Oh my gosh. I mean, really, I look at all of them and think, oh my gosh, I could do that.
Right.
I have to get some friends who want to go stay just out of town.
It's called the KCV Farm Stay, which is Kenneth Carl Vineyards, named after Ken Wilson. It's over on West Dry Creek Road, kind of on the corner of like Yoakum Bridge and West Dry Creek.
Okay, I think we probably need to wrap this up, but I did want to mention one more thing. And I know that I'm going to guess that you're involved in Passport. So it's the Wine Growers of Dry Creek Valley, which we don't have any affiliation with that, but it's a great event. It's called the Passport to Dry Creek. It's April 26th through the 28th. You should definitely check out the website if you're going to be in town. It will most likely sell out. So if you're hearing this, April 4th, jump on it if you're interested in tickets. It's drycreekvalley.org to get tickets. They have a weekend tasting. They also have, they've really expanded the event to have some great lunches and dinners and vineyard tours and a lot of one-off kind of things you can do to add to your weekend ticket. You can also do a Sunday-only tasting if you're interested. But it's an incredible event. It's been going for over 30 years, so it's the Passport to Dry Creek Valley. And then I did want to mention one more thing. We have a blog on the website on wineroad.com. And if you go to, you go to experiences on the website, and then you'll see the link for the blog. And we've started doing a little synopsis of each of our podcasts and posting them. There was a short little blog. And from there, you can click on the link to hear it. If you read it and you think that sounds cool, I'd like to know more about that person, you can click on the link. I'm excited. I thought it just turned out so cute. Something new, I always want something new.
So what's the best way for people to contact Wilson Wines? Just through the URL, or what are the deets?
Yeah, website is where you can book reservations straight from the website.
Okay.
You can also reach out to the tasting room via phone, now text, which is great too.
Nice.
That same phone number, you can just text us directly.
And what's the phone number?
707-433-4355.
Which I know pretty well because it's almost the Wine Road number, and we answer 100 calls a day for Wilson Winery. And I'm like, I can't help you with your wine club shipment, but I know who can.
Right. And then also our main email is info@wilsonwinery.com.
Awesome. So we'll put that in the show notes that will end up on the blog that Beth's
I
all
know.
excited about.
It just looks so good. When I see things like that, I think we are so professional. We just really have it dialed in. It took 8 years, but we finally have that done. Oh my gosh. It was great having you here today, Shane. I had fun.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming, Shane, and we will see you on the Wine Road.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.